Today, we continue to look at the John chapter 1, verse 5. We were talking about the darkness. Darkness is the first Adam status, and darkness is the my earth status in the beginning. So we talking about a lot of things, but especially during my previous sermon, I was talking about 7 days. And 7 days is showing up Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 through Genesis chapter 2 verse 3. Actually, that is the chapter 1 in Hebrew Bible. So Hebrew Bible and English Bible, chapter and verse is different, the system. So Hebrew Bible chapter 1 covers English Bible, Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 through Genesis chapter 2 verse 3. That is the Hebrew Bible chapter 1, finish 2, 3. So fourth earth is the darkness status. First Adam is the darkness status. So that darkness status is keep on going among the 7 days process. We finally understand the light and the darkness, which is the heaven and earth, on 6th day, in 6th day. Until we get into the 6th day, we didn't know heaven is 2, which is dual in number. But obviously, earth was the singular throughout the entire 7 days process. So then, until we understand heaven was dual in number, which means previous sermon says, I have a 2 command and control, which is a 2 signal. And then I also mentioned I have 2 king to sit on the throne. So we didn't know until we heard from the 7th messenger, which is the 7th trumpet. That's why Christos Jesus gave us the 7th trumpet. Then we understand the status of my heaven. That is the 6th day is starting sound. And the name of the messenger was Michael, which is a Hebrew word. Mi is the who, Ka is like, El is God. Who's like God? The God that you believe? Do you have even questioning? Do you even try to seek out? Do you even try to understand the God that you believe? That makes the conflict between the Jews and the Christos Jesus, wasn't it, in the time of Jesus? That's why understanding the heaven, understanding the earth is the critical things when we try to understand the Bible. So, the earth is my footstool. Not only Isaiah say that, New Testament act is quoted from the Isaiah. So, footstool is the resting place. So, which king is resting in my earth? As long as my earth status is darkness, based upon the John chapter 1 verse 1, as we learned so far, then who is seated on my throne? Oh, fake God. Who is the Satan? Who is the different king? Not the king as a Christos Jesus. Sitting in my throne, which is sitting in on my earth. So that's why understanding the earth, understanding the heaven is my salvation process. It takes about 7 days. But on 6 days, we understand the light and the darkness. That's why earth, since it is darkness, earth is the object of conquer. We have to conquer the darkness by understanding the light, who is the Christos Jesus. So there is a lot of obstacle. And to move on to the next day, next day, next day. 7 days does not mean that we understand 1 day as 24 hours. And 1 year is 365 days. The day is talking about the status. Day is talking about the step. That is my salvation process. That's why when we go to the Isaiah chapter 34, Old Testament Isaiah chapter 34, verse 11, I'm going to start from the verse 5. For my sword shall be baited in heaven, indeed it shall come down on Edom. Look at the Greek word Edom. A Hebrew word Edom, right here, Edom. Original Hebrew text, Old Testament, does not have a vowel sign. We call the vowel sign vowel mark because the Hebrew language itself does not exist vowel. 22 Hebrew alphabet is all consonant. But Masoretes, and they are the one who invented the vowel sign. So people who doesn't know how to read a Hebrew text, and by learning the Nikudat, it called the vowel mark, and they are able to pronounce. Edom, without the vowel sign, it is exactly same as the Adam. Adam. The Edom name comes from the Esau, which is a brother of the Jacob. When we go to the Genesis chapter 25 verse 30. Before we go there, let's go there then. Genesis 25 verse 30. And Esau said to Jacob, please feed me with the same red stew, for I am weary. Therefore, his name was called Edom. But Jacob said, sell me your birthright as of this day. And Esau said, look, I am about to die. So what is this birthright to me? Then Jacob said, swear to me as of this day. So he swore him, sold this birthright to Jacob. And Jacob gave Esau bread and stew of lentils, and he ate and drank, arose, went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. So he exchanged his birthright with this lentils, stew, bread and stew of lentils. So are we going to give it up our heir, our son, our birthright of the kingdom of heaven because of the physical things? So Esau did that. That's why this red, as we just see here, his name is the Edom. His name is Edom. Okay? So they call Esau. Esau's name is Edom. But Edom means red. Edom means red, which is the same as Adam. Adam. So go back to the Isaiah chapter 34. So here talking about 5, I just mentioned the 5 is the my soul, which is a Jehovah's sword, shall be baited in heaven, indeed it shall come down on Edom. You know, in the time of Jesus, we have a king whose name is Herod, right? Herod means the image of hero, appearance of hero. Everybody wants to become a hero because hero is the star. So they want to become a star on the TV and on the newspaper, on everywhere, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the appearance of hero, Herod, which is Greek pronunciation is Herodes. So Herodes is the line of the Edom. He comes from the Edom tribe. Mm-hmm. So until born of Jesus, also Herod is trying to kill the Jesus, isn't it? Right? So that's the Esau line comes onto the Jesus. And then Abraham, Isaac, Jacob line comes through the Jesus, right? So that is the situation. So Edom is the Adam. Adam means here first Adam. Then when we coming down the verse 11, to start from 10, it shall not be quenched night or day, its smoke shall be ascend forever. From generation to generation, it shall lie waste. No one shall pass through it forever and ever. And the pelican and the porcupine shall possess it. So here possessing means possess the land of Edom. Possess the first Adam's earth. Also the owl, the raven shall dwell in Edom. And he shall stretch it out over Edom, the line of confusion and the stone of emptiness. They shall call its noble, Edom's noble, to the kingdom, but none shall be there, and all its princes shall be nothing. and thorns shall come upon its palaces, Edom's palaces, first Adam's palaces. Nettled and brambled in its fortresses, it shall be a habitation of jackals, a courtyard for ostriches. The wild beast of the desert shall also meet with the jackal, and the wild goat shall breed its companion. Also the night creature shall rest there, and find for herself place of rest. And all those things lives in where? In the land of Edom, in the land of Adam, first Adam. So then my earth, first Adam's earth, is the animals' playground. And who is the king among those animals? The lion, right? And the second Peter is talking about the Satan is the devil is the roaring lion, right? And who is the king of this field? My earth. Nahashi, that is translated as the beast when we go to the Genesis chapter 3 verse 1, right? The serpent is the most cunning beast, right? In the field, right? So until the fifth day, my earth is dominated by who? Those all animal of kingdom that is shown here, Edom's, right? Edom's earth, right? And then serpent, beast, lion, etc., etc., right? And here it says wild beast, right? Mm-hmm. So they are playing around in my earth. Then we should what? Clear it out, right? Once we clear it out, right? We need to fence in, right? This is my territory, right? Mm-hmm. That is the kingdom of heaven, right? That is my land, right? When I become the existence of salvation. What is the meaning of existence of salvation? Jesus. Jesus meaning is the existence of salvation. When I become the Son of God, I am the King who seated on the throne and rule my heaven, my earth, all become one. Father is in the Son, Son is in the Father, I am in the Son, Son is in me. John chapter 14 verse 20 is talking about that. When? In that day. In the seventh day. When I become the last Adam, who are able to giving the life-giving spirit. So until we get there, and there is many different beasts and animals, many different the spirit who is in the heaven, trying to cover the heaven. What happens? Someone covered the heaven, the earth. Earth cannot receive the light, isn't it? Right? That's why earth is darkness. Because Jehovah as a light and Christos Jesus as a light, they never change to shine the light. As I was beginning, light is keep shining. He's shining to anybody and everybody, right? Mm-hmm. In the eyes of the human being, whether he's a good person, whether he's a bad person, whether he was in the jail, whether he was in the palace, White House, light shine all the time. 365 days, right? Forever shine. But who covered the light? That's today's starting point here. One of the one is locust cover the eye of the earth. Have you heard about earth has an eye? Yes. Look at me. I have eyes. I have a nose. I have a mouth. I have an ear. I have a body. Who am I? I am the earth. Then who is the heaven? Oh, my software, right? Mm-hmm. Heaven is my throne. Earth is my footstool. That's why, without understanding that concept, when you're asking somebody, where is the heaven? And then they thought it is the sky heaven. Oh, that's the heaven. Where is the earth? Oh, we are standing on the earth. That is the physical answer, right? That's the answer about the physical question, right? But Bible is a spiritual book. Then if someone asking you a question, where is the heaven? Oh, heaven is inside me. Where is the earth? Oh, earth is inside me. Earth is the one to receive the light from the heaven and bring forth the herbs, all fruit and trees and all produce. That's why when I become a good ground, when I conquered my heaven, based upon Matthew chapter 13, good ground produce 100-fold, 60-fold, and 30-fold, isn't it? But because of the Satan, and then Satan's group, they are covered the heaven. So earth does not receive enough light. That's why earth does not aware the light until we get into the sixth day. And one of them is the locust here. And locust cover my eyes, okay? Because I am the earth. Let's go to look at the Exodus chapter 10, verse 5-15. Exodus chapter 10. Before we go to 5, let's go to look at that. Now the Lord said, whenever you see New King James Lord, the Hebrew is not Lord, okay? The Lord in Hebrew word is Adonai, which is that is even plural form, okay? This is a Yehovah. What is the meaning of Yehovah? Hoping to existence. He is exist in perfect status inside me. He wants me to become the existence, which is the existence of salvation. So what is the existence? Anyone who show the God. That is the existence of salvation, which is the meaning of Jesus. That's why the conversation between the Philip and the Jesus, right? Philip said, show me God. And Jesus said, whoever see me, see God. I am God. I am visible God, right? And invisible God, my Father, is inside me, isn't it? Okay? So here, now the Yehovah said to Moses, go into Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart, the heart of his servant, that I may show these signs of mine before him. I know explain exactly Hebrew text, it takes time, so I just utilize at this time English Bible. Okay? So Yehovah begin to say forward to Moses, go or come forward to Pharaoh. So the Pharaoh, and then Pharaoh, the reason why going to the Pharaoh, here says, I may show this sign. Look at that part. I may show, right? Here, shit. So show me, okay? Show me. It is not I might show. You see VQPP, card verb, participle, passive, okay? Being shown me, okay? Being shown me. Show what? The next word here. Ought. Being shown, plural form of ought. So we call those a sign, and then people call those a 10 miracle. So Moses, the Yehovah God showed through the Moses those 10 miracles, right? Mm-hmm. So that showed to the Pharaoh. Not only showed to the Pharaoh, but also showed to who? Showed to the Israelite, right? Israelite. Mm-hmm. That's why he wants to show the oath. Then I've been talking oath many times, isn't it? I left through top. Who is the mediator? Christos Jesus is the mediator. So Jesus is the oath. Jesus is the only sign, right? But when we go to the 1 Corinthians chapter 1, Jew looking for the signs, right? Mm-hmm. And then Greek looking for the wisdom, right? But Apostle Paul say, we are the sign, we show the sign, we show the wisdom for both to the Jews and Greek, who? The Christos Jesus, who crucified. So here, my oath. I would like to show you on the screen, opposite way here. Okay, you see here, my oath. Okay, my oath is a plural. My sign ministry. Okay, where this sign ministry is in center of him. You know, English translate King James before him. Okay, New King James translate before him. But when you look at the Kereb, you see the 7130. Let's go to look at the 7130. Hebrew 7130. Kereb is the nearest part, the center, right? And then we go to the BDB dictionary. Kereb is the midst among inner part, middle, inward part, as seat of thought and emotion, right? So Jehovah God showing those signs, and today's sign is a low cost. Okay, then I'm beginning with this because how can we understand those Exodus procedure? Okay, those 10 signs is showing to the Pharaoh. Pharaoh where? His thought and emotion. Center of his thought, center of emotion. Without knowing this one, we cannot understand what is the meaning of those 10 signs, which is that showing the Christos Jesus. At the same time, the other part, Israelite. Israelite accept those 10 signs, Jehovah's 10 signs, as what? Physically, isn't it? Right? Not only physically, but also that understanding as the miracle, isn't it? Like in the time of Jesus. 5 bread, 2 fishes, right? And then he trying to show Christos Jesus himself as a sign. But they follow Jesus because he doing the miracle magic, isn't it? So depends on what sign you are looking for. Understanding the Bible is totally different. That's why they Israelites understand this sign instead of Christos Jesus. They understood this sign as the miracle of God, even though they crossed the Red Sea. Apostle Paul is talking about the water baptism process. And then they go to wilderness, which is a church, wilderness church is studying, 4th-day church. And then manna comes from heaven. They ate without knowing the spiritual meaning. That's why they all destroy those first generation, isn't it? Because they understand the Jehovah's sign in different way. And then in the Pharaoh side also, and then Pharaoh also understand that God's sign as the God's mighty power, isn't it? That's why everybody destroyed. Not only Pharaoh is destroyed, because he destroyed where? On the Red Sea, right? Because Red Sea is come back on, right? Only time dry land is showing up during the Israelite across the Red Sea, which is a baptism process. That's why understanding 10 miracle, 10 signs here, how can we understand that is happening where? In the inward part, inside the Pharaoh. And Pharaoh is not only located externally in the history. Where is Pharaoh then? Oh, Pharaoh is me. I am the Pharaoh. I am the Moses. I am the Isaac. I am the Satan. Why? Everything, every function, everyone that's showing in the Bible is talking about my personal spiritual status. Without applying to my life, without understanding in that way, spiritual way, Bible still closed book. Bible still book of death to you. It cannot become a book of life to you. So go back to that Exodus chapter 10. And then we look at verse 2 here, that you may tell in the hearing of your son and your son's son the mighty things I have done in Egypt, my signs that I have done among them. It is not among them again, right? So in his ministry here, that you may know I am the Lord, right? And then we go down verse 5. They shall cover the face of the earth. That is the talking, right? It is not faith. Face. You see here? Ayin. So et, ayin, ha, aret. I would like to show you the other way so you can look at the screen better. Here, et, ayin, haaretz, right? So at, again, English never translate this. But I was showing you what is the meaning of at process right here, right? Aleph through tav process, right? First eram through the second eram to become the last eram process, right? Which is an entire timing process expressing in the Hebrew Bible as at. So then, first earth, last earth, but ayin. Ayin is not faith. If you want to say face, there is a panim, Hebrew word panim, face of the earth. But this is ayin, eye of the earth, eye of the earth. Why? Because the eye of the earth is what status? Darkness status. Then eye of the earth is darkness status, we call what? Blindness, isn't it? So for example, when we go to the New Testament Mark chapter 8, verse 23. Jesus took the blind man. Jesus took me, eye of the earth, by the hand and led him out of the town when he had a spit on his eyes. How can he become a blind man? Because he does not have a water. You know, you have a water, right? Physically, we are talking about the eyes, right? Whenever you're blinking your eyes, what happens? Lubricate the water comes from your body. It lubricates so you can see clearly, right? If you do not have a water, what happens to your eyes? It totally dry. You cannot see, right? Well, so Jesus using his spit, okay? Because his eye thoroughly dry. He does not able to receive the light, knowledge of God on his eyes and put his hand on him. He put his hand on him. He asked him if he saw anything. And he looked up and said, I see man like a trees. Look at the man. Andropos, right? Andropos is same as the Hebrew word is Adam. Okay? So he see the andropos plural form that is like what? Dendra, tree. So he saw the tree. Tree is the andropos, man, right? What tree are we talking about? Oh, now he's able to see the what? Tree of life. Why his eye get dried? Because he only received the what? Tree of knowledge, good and evil, isn't it? Make sense? So his eye totally dried. He's not able to see the God's life. He's not able to see the eternal life. Once he received the water from the Jesus, then he's able to see the tree of life. What is the tree means? I said a couple of times, right? Hebrew word is et. That comes from the yat. Yat means advice, counseling, right? Provide a plan, advice, and counseling, right? So provide the life, God's life. Advise the God's life. Counsel the God's life. Then you are the what? You are the tree of life. Last Adam is the tree of life. Jesus is the tree of life. So I see man like a tree is walking. So walking is the peripateo. Peri is all around 360 degrees. Pateo is thread, conquer, thread on. He is thread on conquering the earth, right? Conquering the earth of this blind man. Now he's able to see the tree of life. Then he sent him away to his house, saying, neither go into the town, nor tell anyone in the town. So, go back to Exodus again, chapter 10. So, Jehovah showing the or, which is the Christos Jesus. Not only to the Pharaoh, but also to the Israelite. Then, who is the Pharaoh? What is the meaning of Pharaoh? You know, if you go to the dictionary, they say the meaning of Pharaoh as the great house. Let's go to look at the 65:47, the Pharaoh. Hebrews 65:45, great house. And then the common title of the king of Egypt, of Egyptian deliberation. Okay. Where is the great house comes from? It doesn't say anything, right? The reason I'm saying that is Pharaoh, meaning it's not great house. Okay? That's why I'm showing you this. What is the meaning of Pharaoh? Okay. So I define Pharaoh is what? Loosened leader. Which means he lead the people whatever he wants to do with his personal knowledge. Because he never binded with what? Christos Jesus. Christos Jesus, God is the only one leader. But he was loosed. He doesn't have any relationship. He's loosened. Loosened leader. That means what? He is the crooked leader. He leads the people whatever he likes to do based upon his needs, wants, own desire. He doesn't care. He doesn't know God's will, God's knowledge, God's wisdom. That's why God said to John the Baptist, right? Because it is the way is the crooked to make the straight way, highway, isn't it? So Pharaoh is the loosened leader, crooked leader. Because Pharaoh comes from the 65:44, para. Para means to loosen, let alone, right? What is let alone means? Leave me alone, okay? I'm going to lead whatever I want to lead. Don't give me any advice, right? I don't need the tree of life. Ignore. He does not ignore. He ignored the Jehovah. He ignored the Christos Jesus. Even in the Exodus, he ignored who? The Moses who sent by the Jehovah God, right? He ignored. He doesn't want to listen. Because he's a loosened leader and crooked leader. And from here, para, masculine noun, same as the Pharaoh, which is a para, which is hair. Hair means as disheveled, which means Nazarite. Nazarite is the one who consecrated, right? Who separated, right? Mm-hmm. So who is able to become a Nazarite? Because Christos Jesus was lived in Nazareth. Nazareth comes from the, not the para, but Nazar. Nazir in the Hebrew word, which means consecrated. So about the Nazar Testament Bible, anyhow, he is the hair is disheveled. And then para, which is a feminine noun, leader. So Pharaoh, para, he's the leader in the sense of beginning. Without going to the 7 days process, he just become the chief, which is arche, right? And then about arche, not only translated as beginning, when we go to the New Testament, arche not only translated as beginning, it translated as the principality. In case of Ephesians chapter 6. Principality is the chief, okay, who acting like a head. That kind of leader, which is a beginning leader. Not the completed, perfect man who is the true leader. Last Adam, right? And also, as a compound word, paro, 6499, par. Par is the bullock, apparently as breaking forth in wild strength. So he has a great power, but he used power on his own will, on his own desire. That's why when we go to Exodus, Leviticus, those places, par is the bullock that is used for what? Burnt offering and peace offering. Okay? Between myself and Jehovah, in order for me to making a peace with Jehovah, in order for me to be offered to the Jehovah, the bullock has to be sacrificed, which is Pharaoh has to destroy that existing inside me in order for me to offer to the Jehovah. That's why he used as a burnt offering and peace offering. And then the par plus Abba. Abba means to crook, bend, twist, distort, be perverted. So that kind of leader is the Pharaoh. So before we keep on continue, let's look at a couple of verses. I'm not going to look at all verses. I just want to look at the 3 verses. Who is Pharaoh? What is Pharaoh? Let's go to look at the Isaiah 36:6. Look, you are trusting in the step of this broken reed. He's ruling the broken reed. That's why when we go to the book of Revelation, the angel, messenger of God, he has what reed? Golden reed, right? And they measured each one of them. But do not measure the one who is in the outside the temple, which is a courtyard, right? Mm-hmm. We only measure who? The person in the temple, right? Mm-hmm. But he doesn't have a gold reed, he has a broken reed. But people trust him. Because Mitzrayim, which translated as Egypt, the Egypt is the symbol of this world. Who is ruling this world? Based upon Matthew chapter 4, the Satan devil showing in front of the Satan, if you are the Son of Man, Son of God, do this, do this, do this, right? Mm-hmm. The last one is, he showed the glory of this world. So this world is run by, led by, dominated by who? Pharaoh, crooked leader, loosened leader, who doesn't have a knowledge of God, who only have a knowledge of the tree of knowledge, good and evil, isn't it? Which is a relative order instead of absolute order. So Isaiah 36:6 here talking about, look, you are trusting in the step of this broken reed, Egypt, on which if a man leans, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all who trust in him. And but if you say to me, we trust in the Lord our God, is it not he whose high places and whose altar Hezekiah has taken away, and said to Judah and Jerusalem, you shall worship before this altar? You know what happened in the time of, until the time of Hezekiah? You know, Israelite exit from the Egypt, across the Red Sea, go through the wilderness, arrive at the Canaan. And until the Hezekiah time, do you know what Israelite worship? We thought they are worship to the only true God whose name is Jehovah, isn't it? No. They worship still Pharaoh. Can you believe that? They worship the serpent. Can you believe that? Until the time of this Hezekiah? Where it say that? We can go to the 2 King 18:4. 2 King 18:4. I'm going to read from verse 1. Now it came to pass in 3rd year of Hosea, son of Elah, king of Israel, the Hezekiah. The king is talking about here, right? Mm-hmm. Son of Ahaz, king of Judah. You know, after the King Solomon, the kingdom is divided by 2, right? Mm-hmm. South Judah, North Israel. So Hezekiah is the king of South Judah. Began to reign. He was 25 years old. When he became king, he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Abi, the daughter of Zechariah. And he did what was right in the sight of the Lord. So until him, no one doing the right in the sight of the Lord. That's what it means. According to all that his father David had done, he removed the high places, broke the sacred pillar. This one is talking about the tabernacle. Okay? They bring the tabernacle all the way to the Canaan, right? And cut down the wooden image and broken in pieces. He cut down everything. Okay? Those wooden images. And bronze serpent. Then Moses has made. Okay? Until those days, the children of Israel burned incense to bronze serpent and called it Nehushtan. So Ezekiel trusted it in the Lord, God of Israel. So that after him was none like him among all the kings of Judah, nor who were before him. For he held fast to the Lord, he did not depart from following him, kept his commandments, which the Lord had commanded Moses. So those bronze serpent, he broken in pieces. He cut down those wooden images. That's why until this time, time of Hezekiah, Israelites keep on following to who? Bronze serpent, not the Jehovah. Because Jehovah allowed them to worship the bronze serpent. That's what they choose. So they exalted, they honored, they make it high, the serpent, instead of Jehovah God. That is the reality, those 4th and 5th day Christian. 4th and 5th day Christian, they thought they are believing God and Jesus. What kind of God, what kind of Jesus are you believing then? That's why when we go to the 2 Corinthians chapter 11, Apostle Paul is talking, another Jesus, different spirit, different gospel. Which means God of Abraham, God of Isaac, God of Jacob, those all apostles' belief is different from what they believe. That's why even Galatians chapter 3, Apostle Paul talking to the Galatians, oh, foolish Galatians. Because they don't have a full understanding about the Christos Jesus. And English translate incorrectly, Christos Jesus has been crucified in you. Greek text is in you. But English text, among you. That's why they are the foolish Galatians. Galatian, Gala. Gala means milk. The level of Galatian church is only drinking milk. Not able to eat the solid food, not able to become the perfect man because they are only drinking milk. Still the baby Christian, immature Christian. That is the status until the 5th day. So, because of who? Because of the Pharaoh, right? The leader is Pharaoh, right? And then next one, Pharaoh, we go to Ezekiel 29:3. Speak and say, thus say the Lord God, behold, I am against you, O Pharaoh, king of Egypt, O great monster, who lies in the midst of his river, who has said, my river is my own, I have made it for myself. But I will put hooks in your jaws, hook the jaws of Pharaoh king, and cause the fish of your rivers to stick to your scale. I will bring you up out of the midst of your river, and all the fishes in your river will stick to your scale. So here talking about the great monster. Okay, you look at the great monster. Tanin. Tanin, King James translates as dragon. New King James translates the monster. But Tanin is not monster, Tanin is not dragon. I put the Tanin right here. What is the meaning of Tanin? Elongate, show up, exaggeration, overstatement, magnification. Without having the knowledge of God, without having the wisdom of God, without knowing the truth of God, they just showing off, making long, making big, exaggerate, overstate. Make the small one, make it big, and please the human being instead of please God. by providing what? Good word. Good word. Making them happy. Instead of delivering the truth of God. Who is he? Pharaoh king. The last one I would like to go is 31:18. To which of the tree in Eden will you then be linked in glory and greatness? Yet you shall be brought down with the tree of Eden. To the depths of the earth you shall lie in the midst of uncircumcised, with those slain by the sword. This is Pharaoh and all his multitude, say the Lord God. So, this Pharaoh and this multitude, what's their status? Uncircumcised. They are not circumcised their heart. They are not circumcised their ear. They are not circumcised. They have the mixed knowledge. Okay? From here, from there, or from different sources. And make a good statement. Exaggerate. Make the people happy. Instead of please the God. Who give them leadership? King Pharaoh give the leadership. King Pharaoh covers my earth when I come onto the 6th day. So next Sunday, we are keep on going. Exodus chapter 10, verse 5-15, talking about the Locust.